So DC Fandom happened today.
Yeah. Hey, it's happened. It's here. It was over. It's a little late in the night because we're making sure we digested everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, as of right now, see what's the encore playing? What time is it? It's almost that. Surprise DC Comics panel encore's on right now. So
Damn.
another
Yep.
one I kind of not skipped, but kind of just had on in the background. It wasn't the major one I was hoping for.
So anyway, we wanted to wait till the whole thing was over so we can just talk about everything all at once. We're not doing any reactions to trailers or anything, so
Yeah, it was a little hard to coordinate that at the time.
yeah, but it's cool.
Everyone watching it.
It's cool just to sit down and we get to just discuss this, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out straight off the bat. I did not expect this to be that good.
It was really good. I think DC had a lot of stuff on the back burner that they were kind of just waiting for an opportunity to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think this, as an idea, was so good for them to do it because it just kind of gave everyone just a whole day to just accept
Digest.
it. It was almost like Comic-Con, what Comic-Con should have been, obviously, with the pandemic going around.
Yeah.
This is what DC's Comic-Con would have been. So that's why I think it's so good.
I like that there was such a variety of content. I mean, it was mostly movie based, which was good. But then you had like a couple of the CW shows. You had like a little Ask Harley Quinn thing, and then you had 2 video games.
Yeah, the video games actually surprised me because I knew the people who made the Arkham games were making a new video game, but they were thinking it's gonna be like a Superman game or like a Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond was like, for some reason, the big, huge. This is what's gonna happen. Batman Beyond's gonna happen, and I was like,
I
all
still
right.
think that's gonna be if they ever make that. Yes, I
Yeah.
did not expect Gotham Knights.
No, that was out of left field. Like the main reason why I'm wearing this bad boy. Like hello, like
as
favorite superhero over here.
as someone who has never really cared about the Arkham games, I've always admired them, but this game, dude, looks so good.
It looks so good. I'm so happy I have this nice. I bought a new PC recently. I'm so happy that now I can play all the new PS5 games the way they're supposed to be played. Like, I mean, I can play the controller, but the fact that my computer is so advanced compared to my old computer,
Yeah.
and I have the option to just be on my computer, not have to buy a PS5 and have to buy this and have to buy that. The fact that I can now choose, so nice, so nice.
Now I like the whole Bruce is dead, and it's just chaos.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, Batman's gone. What do we do? And I love how it's Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin,
Martha, and I don't know which Robin. I'm guessing.
I heard someone say Red Robin. I'm like, is that Robin? Like, is that an actual Robin like version? I'm like, because I know the restaurant.
Yeah, Red Robin. But if Red Robin, I want to say, just looking at little screen captures, I mean, if it's probably Tim. It should be Tim, because if it's Damien, it's really interesting. I'm just looking at a picture right now. Yeah, it's Tim.
I'm pretty sure it's Tim.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, but I love. I didn't realize Red Hood could teleport. Like.
Oh yeah, the
right?
smoke. Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this gameplay of like, was it Batgirl? And I'm just like, oh shit! Like, this looks good. Like, really good. Like, it looked like it might be multiplayer online.
I think that'd be cool if there were like kind of online campaigns they would run. I think that'd be cool.
Because I think that's what they're doing with the.
It's been a while since I picked up an Arkham game. Like, it's been a while.
Because I think that's what they're doing with the Avengers game, right? Like, there's the main story you can do by yourself, or you can go on like side quests with your friends as other Avenger characters.
Yeah. I saw that. I'm not super intrigued with the Avengers one, just because it's not like the art style's bad or the voicing that. It's just like, for me, playing another Marvel game after playing. I mean, I played all the Lego games. So, like, playing another Marvel game was like, kind of like, I guess, like, I don't know. It felt kind of like run over a couple times. The Arkham games, I think, worked well, and because there was so much of a gap between this one and this one, that would be this one, the last one, it just seemed a lot more like a surprise for me. Because again, everyone who talked to me was like, it's probably a Superman game, it's a Batman Beyond game.
I know people were just saying it was going to be the next Arkham game, so I was expecting just Batman. I was just expecting a Batman game. I didn't think we'd be playing as the sidekicks.
I think the last game gave a lot more power to making the sidekicks, kind of
Mm-hmm.
more like a main character. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
whole Arkham game has slowly moved into more more side characters, especially with the Batman, like everyone in Gotham. I think it's just so cool. The side characters make Batman, like each Robin helps Batman on his journey. Like there's a bunch of clips. I'm gonna bring up Titans because I'm super excited to talk about
Yeah.
that. But Titans, there's a clip where the guy who plays Jason Todd is like, Batman needs Robin. And then he obviously goes on this Jason rant, like he wears bright colors, so they shoot at him, and then he comes down and just beats
Mm-hmm.
everyone up. So like that part is important, but also like the character building. Batman in the comics went only so far before they introduced Robin, and then once they introduced Dick and then all the other ones, it just took off his character, and it's so cool.
So the thing I'm seeing a lot that I kind of got from this like thing today was the Court of Owls seems to be like the villain they're kind of bringing out, and I know people have been wanting that for the longest freaking time.
So we got it a little bit, and I believe Son of Batman, but Nightwing. I keep for some reason all these comments turn around Nightwing. Don't know why, but Nightwing was kind of like the main person who, not quote unquote infiltrated, but he was main. It was one of his main story arcs. It wasn't his original story arc. It wasn't like his villain. It's kind of moved around over the years. But it's so cool because we're getting the Court of Owls is Dick Grayson's thing, and then also it's Red Hood's because a little bit with Jason, kind of his storyline, and also with Tim, and then kind of Barbara's kind of lumped in with that. So it's really cool to see that with Batman dead, it's not like Bane's running around or Joker's running around or Riddler or Scarecrow or yada yada yada. It's kind of like not the main Batman villain, but more like a syndicate or like just a bad group going on. It's like the Justice Society or the stuff like that. I like the fact that it's not someone, just a huge name that they're trying to sell. They're more like, no, we want the character to sell, we want the story to sell, we want to give the fans a game that just makes it what the fans want. And I'm just so excited to see them.
And this is by the B Studio, right? Like this is the Montreal division. Yeah. So it's a smaller team, but I think they kicked it out of the park with this.
Oh, I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, hold on, because I was just stunned.
I've heard people speculating. I've heard people speculating on this game, and I was just like, "Oh, it's gonna be. It's gonna be small. It's gonna be nothing big." But dude, it just looks so good. I'm very tempted on picking this game up.
I will most likely, as soon as it gets announced, I will probably replay all the Arkham games.
I need to play the Arkham games. I've heard they're fucking fantastic.
Oh, they're great. They're great. I'll probably replay all the Arkham games with my new computer.
Yeah, I need to check them out. But that game, I like how we saw gameplay. The trailer was fucking fantastic. The whole Court of Owls thing, I love it. Now, I know people are speculating that they don't think Batman's dead, and it was just kind of a ploy to get the owls out and kind of more into the open. I don't know what you think about that, but
I mean, because it's a video game, it doesn't follow. Like the Arkham game has always kind of used, like even now, movies are kind of using the same storyline. It's not like someone just takes a comic. Like, hey, there's a movie.
They take inspiration.
Yeah, they take inspiration. So the Court of Owls coming out and Batman's playing dead. I mean, there's a lot of times where Batman has disappeared and X amount of people have taken the mantle of Batman for a set amount of time. So I could see that Batman's not in Gotham, but I don't think he would die. It seems really weird that you'd make an Arkham game after this many years and just kill off Batman.
Right.
Unless you plan on making more games after this with the same storyline. Like you're kind of like resetting the storyline, kind of. I could see that.
It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
Now there's another game that was announced today. The cinematic was fucking great, but they showed no gameplay. There was nothing to it. So it's the game by Rocksteady, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Yeah, that game is so far out in production. They said what 2020?
Yeah, 2022. 2022. I love the premise. The premise of the Suicide Squad has to kill the Justice League because Brainiac has like controlled them all. So like they're evil. Like
yeah, Brainiac's pretty big.
All in the trailer you just see Superman like save a helicopter pilot and then burn his fucking face in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that kind of sets this up. But all they said was if up to 4-player co-op. And I'm like, okay, but what is this? Is this kind of like how the Arkham game's gonna be? Or is this more like Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Where it's kind of like a dungeon crawler, like 4-player game. That's my worry, but it's Rocksteady, so I'm kind of going more on the lines of the Gotham Knights thing.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of story, but you can do side quests.
I don't know.
I feel like I didn't see too much of it because I wasn't super excited. Because I kind of just like was scrolling through like kind of like the heads up, like the tutorials and stuff. And this was like 2022, so I was like, I'll just pick it up when I just see it. And then I kind of the day kind of went on. I kind of just kept watching everything. I kind of hope it's Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where it's kind of dungeony, but it follows a storyline, kind of like how the old DC Lego games kind of did.
Yeah.
The original ones, not the ones where it's like more open world and you do all this extra stuff, which I think would be cool. But I think open world kind of ran its course, I feel, as in video game sense.
Yeah, I think it... For me, I like open world, but I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have a very linear storyline where I can go and do side quests, but I don't want to be able to explore everything.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way.
That's my gripe with the Lego games right now. Like, I played the Avengers, and I know they're doing it with the new Star Wars one, too. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do open world for Star Wars.
I remember playing the original Star Wars on the DS. Was it Complete Collection, whatever that was?
Dude, it's so good, because you can just go episode to episode and, like, run through it. But now it's going to be open world. You can fly to planets and play it in whatever order. I'm like, that's weird. I don't like that. I
almost want to like play it like the right way. I feel like you should have the option to play story and then go around.
Let me just run into the cantina and just hop in a door and let me start the story. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be better if it followed a storyline in general. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to see because it's 2022. It's so hard. There's no gameplay, so maybe they're still trying to figure it out. Or
I was so surprised there was no gameplay. Like
I mean, it's like 2.5 years out, give or take. Like that's honestly, I mean, video games can go a long way really fast.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was made recently. Like the idea to make this game was more recent than compared to the Rocksteady, not the Rocksteady, but the Gotham Knights game.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard about the Gotham Knights game, like, God, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that.
Did they even
like forever.
Did they tell us about that game, or is it
they
just like
tell
a
us
fresh
that the Gotham Knights was it? But Montreal was like, hey, by the way, we're making a game. Everyone was like, another Batman game, another Arkham, and they're like, everyone was like, again, like just trying to figure what it was out.
I just feel like with Kill the Justice League, they were promoting it heavily with posters like weeks ago, like a month ago.
Yeah,
so
no, I did see it.
I thought this was farther in development.
But does it feel like it was? Or maybe they're just waiting for, I don't know, like E3 or I don't know, what's the next big convention?
I think Gamescom's
assuming the world
coming
is back
up.
to normal. Assuming the world's coming back to normal.
I think Gamescom's next.
That's December?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's December too. So
maybe
they were waiting for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they just didn't feel like doing it. I don't know. I mean,
I like
DC out of all the pitches to hit, they hit a bunch of them out of the park, so they miss one. Yeah, they pop out. Whatever.
Yeah. That was the only panel. That was the only panel today where I'm just like, you guys kind of dropped the ball on that. I like the cinematic. I like the cinematic, but the only thing that hurt was there was no gameplay. There was nothing showing us what the game was.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
What'd you think of the Snyder Cut panel?
So I liked it, and I'm the first person to tell you that I'm not like, oh my god, the Snyder Cut, I need to see it. Like I'm having like a nerd off. I'm kind of like, I want to see where his direction went compared to where Joss Whedon picked up. Yes, there's a whole bunch of stuff going around, like how Joss Whedon didn't like get the feel of it. He obviously, all the facts, he reshot most of it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to see where Zack Snyder was going to go with it. Because, I mean, today he was like, I can't give away anything, but he's like, the Flash is going to have a more prevalent role.
Yeah.
Cyborg's going to have a more prevalent role. The one thing that I like and don't like, but I think is a smart decision, was having all the cast come back and read the questions to them. I like the idea that there was
cool.
a moderator and have all of them talk. I like that part of the panels, like the Flash panel had that, where they had the Entertainment Weekly guy or Insider kind of like moderated. I think I like that style better.
Same, yeah.
Kind of having it go back and forth, because it felt, because they were obviously not in the same room, it felt a little bit clunky. But I mean, obviously all the information got out there. I mean, Henry Cavill was just talking and just having to gauge. He's like, yeah, this is where I work. I'm not in jail. Everyone calm down. I was like, see, he can make jokes. Like, just give him like the lamest jokes like ever, and that's Superman. Like, he's fine. Like, just let him do that. Talking on the actual stuff I saw, I felt like there was a couple of the scenes that I've already seen.
Yeah, people were saying like a lot of the scenes looked familiar, but they were different.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we first seen Darkseid, it looked like a video game. I was like, ooh, this isn't completely polished.
That's it's still a while off. So
yeah, it's at least. But
dude, it looks so good. Just that trailer, dude. I've told you many times, I still haven't seen Justice League. I have no plans on watching Justice League, but the Snyder Cut looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it hyped me up again for the movie it should have been.
Like, but just the teaser he dropped like a couple months ago, so good. And I'm just like, how is this little teaser already getting me more hype than the whole like promotion they did for the original film?
I mean, I was super hyped for the original film, because I thought, I mean, I know there's a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes where like Joss Whedon came in. I was like, all right, so Joss Whedon kind of got kicked to the curb by Marvel. This is kind of his redemption arc. And then I started watching it, and by like, I don't know, halfway the movie, I was like, oh,
yeah, like this isn't it.
It's not it. This is not what I wanted. And I don't know, it just seems so weird. I'm excited to see kind of how this goes, because the way Zack Snyder was saying it, it was a whole bunch of loners and they kind of all come together. Is kind of how the original Justice League started. I'm talking about the animated ones.
Yeah.
Where like Batman and the way it started was Batman and Robin had their animated shows, and they kind of came together and they kind of just grabbed in each of the seasons, kind of just everyone in each of the episodes, kind of just everyone, and the whole like half of the first season, them just trying to figure out how to like work with each other, which I think is great. But to fit that in a movie, and then everyone has, I mean, obviously Gal Gadot has her Wonder Woman, and it's gonna be really interesting to see where this gets released compared to like Matt Reeves' Batman, or how good 1984 for Wonder Woman is, or anything else that comes out movie-wise. It's gonna be interesting to see where they put it.
Yeah. So like, they said during the panel, I guess, I didn't catch this, but they said they're releasing this in 4 episodes, an hour each.
So it's 4 1-hour episodes, or it's gonna be 1 4-hour long episode. I don't know if they're doing a whole month where it's every week they do it, or it's a day.
Which I'm fine with. Like, I'm down for that.
It completely start to finish. I don't like the idea of watching. My thing is I used to sit there during the week on CW, just watch episode by episode of like Arrow and Flash and Legend and stuff like that. And since they got on Netflix, I'm kind of like, I'm just kind of just scrolling through them, and I'm just like, sit there and just spend a random Saturday watching like 12 hours of Flash a day. Like, that's just so much more me.
So I know they said they're going to do the 4 episodes, but he also said he wants to like have a cut where it can just be 4 hours, where you can just watch it straight through. Yeah, he said there's going to be both. So I just don't know how if they're going to release it all at once. Well, like on HBO Max, I think they've been releasing them all at once. I don't think they've done a weekly. I don't think they've done weekly release on HBO Max. I could be wrong.
I mean, I think HBO Max is still early. Obviously, this movie's a good probably what, 8, 9 months, 10 months, 12 months out.
Yeah, we're still. I think we're gonna get it.
So that could be. I'm thinking we're getting about now-ish next year, maybe a little bit later.
I think we're gonna get it in June.
I think I can see it. I can see it during the summer. I can see it during the middle of the year.
I could see it launching this summer.
August.
I could see it launching.
I think it's gonna be in next summer. It'd be cool if it was like early.
I don't know, man. It was just, I didn't think I'd be so hyped for Justice League Snyder Cut. Like, I knew I was gonna watch it, but that trailer was just good.
Yeah, it was good.
Do you think they're gonna do that 4:3 aspect ratio for the film? Because he's done that for like every little sneak peek they've given us so far. It's like this weird aspect ratio.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard because streaming services have all these funky ways to like make it so it's easier to stream. So maybe HBO Max is like, hey, you have to make it 4:3 because it's 4 hours long. We're shooting in like ultra 4K. It would take up too much to stream. So you would want everyone to. I mean, if I'm guessing, what's probably gonna happen is it'll release in 4.3, and as kind of like everyone sees it, they'll slowly make it 16:9.
Yeah, maybe the episodes will be 4:3, but the full film will be 16:9. Yeah.
I think that would be cool, personally. For me, I'm not gonna watch it if it's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I'll sit there for 4 hours and I'll just watch it all the way through. If I have to go down, I'll just pause it. I don't like the idea of I'm seeing it part 1 and then I have to like watch some random like ad or commercial or some random, you know what I mean, like in between the parts. It just kind of throws it off for me. It makes it more like a series, which I'm not super excited about.
Like I mean, know
if it's a part and then they talk about like what happened and how was like production for it, or like where you thought the character was going and then you started writing it and you're like, oh, it's not what it'd be cool if they broke down what each part was. But if they don't, I'll just watch it in 4 hours.
I think the thing is, with us, we're down to watch a 4-hour film in one sitting, but a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, I can see.
People, for some reason, people hear 4-hour movie and they go, no. But they'll watch 4 episodes, each an hour each
around
of
an hour.
show.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
And I don't know why. And I've seen people do it. They'll be like, I don't want to watch a 4-hour film. But they'll sit down and watch 4-hour-long episodes in a row of, like, The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. And I'm like, you just did the same thing.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's weird. It's a mental thing, right?
Yeah, I guess the idea is,
like, oh, I can watch a bunch
episode.
Yeah.
There's a beginning and an end to that episode, and always there's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And it moves on, and then moves on, and moves on. So I guess the idea is the cliffhanger kind of gives you like, oh my god, this is happening, and then it's a break in between, so you kind of like can just kind of like, and then watch it again. I can see that.
Yeah, like you have pausing points.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're watching a 4-hour movie, obviously it's not going to be in a theater, so it's a little bit different watching a 4-hour movie like at your house or streaming it.
I gotta be honest, I'd like to go see this in the movies.
I think it'd be cool if everything kind of calms down. Obviously it's coming to HBO Max, but then like later down the road, if something gets canceled or like something like just happens and they just kind of go, we're just gonna release the Snyder Cut theatrically.
Dude, I'd be so down to go see that.
I think it would be cool.
Now, I gotta say, I think we've said all we could about Justice League.
Yeah.
Another big thing was the Suicide Squad lineup. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's some stacked.
Did you think John Cena would be in this film?
Oh, I knew John Cena wasn't. I didn't know what character he was. I still don't know what character he was.
I didn't even realize he was in the film. Like, I've been trying to pay attention to every, like, leak and everything, and I didn't hear he was in this damn film. Wait,
I knew John Cena was in it. I mean, I'm a wrestling nerd. I've always been wrestling in my life, so I knew John Cena was in it. Because, I mean, the thing is, I go through, like, a whole, but I probably, not every day, but probably about once a week, I'll learn something, or, like, someone will say, this is in toxic production, this is in toxic production. Like, today, my big thing, I was watching, I think it was Jim Lee's, kind of, like, he was with guys who made Static Shock and made Hardware and made, I'm missing one more, Icon, stuff like that. And they announced, oh, by the way, like, Static Shock is coming back to stores. We're doing media only. Yeah. We're writing new stuff, drawing by all these, like, really big stuff who made the original one. They had, who's the guy who voices Static Shock? He's the
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He's the same guy who played John Jones' brother in Malefic and Supergirl. If you know, comment below, because I know this could be on YouTube. But,
I'm surprised they're making a Static Shock film. I think that was shocking.
That was a little before I think all this happened. I saw that. I was excited. I think with everything going around in the world, it's time to just make films that people want.
Like, fucking finally. I feel like everyone's been asking for this forever. So, just finally, I want to see who they cast. Have they said who they're gonna cast as Static Shock or no?
It's like so behind. I don't say it's so behind in production.
It's just starting, right?
Yeah, it's like they were in talks to like they're basically like writing it. Basically, they're like how do we want to do it, stuff like that. But back to Suicide Squad, like I knew John Cena was in it. I knew Margot Robbie. I knew Idris Elba was coming and replacing, I believe, Will Smith as Deadshot. I believe
he didn't replace him, but he's a different character in the spot.
Yeah, and then Captain Boomerang's back. Like just seeing, I like the fact that when they made this, they didn't make it a trailer. They showed like all the behind the scenes stuff. I kind of like filled in with scenes they've already shot before because I know this one definitely got hurt because of COVID.
Didn't they finish this one though? They finished this.
I know they were in like almost to the end of filming. I don't know if they maybe decided to kind of bring everyone in and kind of do more smaller stuff. I mean, when they do big stuff, it's really easy to say, oh, they're still filming, or this one got cut by filming.
Because I know,
like, depending on where they at, they may have probably looked at all the film and go, okay, no, we're good. Let's do it.
Because Batman still has like
James
7
Gunn
weeks left.
Is in the actual, I guess, teaser or trailer itself. The fact that a lot of this was the directors were the main, not the main character, quote unquote, of the trailers, that they had a main character, but they were like the main, I would say, focal point.
Yeah.
But like the fact that we grew up and it was like all these trailers and we never saw who the director was. Now that we're adults, we're like seeing all these directors get the praise they deserved, or like Zack Snyder would be like, no, we want his version for like 4 years and we're finally getting it, so we're happy. But I don't know, I
like the lineup though. It's so good.
Yeah.
I didn't realize Pete Davidson was in it.
I knew that. The thing is, I know who's in it, but I don't know who anyone's playing. I haven't looked at all the characters because I know it's at least late 2021, if not 2022.
No, it's early. It's coming out. It comes out August 6th, 2021.
Okay, so whoa.
So it's about a year away.
Yeah.
But still, I don't like this movie. Gives me Guardians of the Galaxy vibes.
Oh yeah, I think that's the idea. But I like the fact that what Guardians did was it added a little more, I guess I could say, fun into what Marvel was doing, because Marvel was going from kind of like everyone had their own serious tones. Like the first Captain America movie had a serious tone.
Yeah.
Iron Man was slowly kind of moving into his groove and stuff like that. And you have Black Panther and all this stuff. And Guardians was kind of just like a wrench that just said, this is just a fun movie.
Dude, I think it's so crazy because we get Michael Rooker, we get Flula Borg, we get Idris Elba, we get King Shark, which I'm pretty sure is Taika Waititi, Peter Capaldi, Pete Davidson, Sean Gunn, Nathan Fillion, John Cena.
Yeah, there's like so many big Margot Robbie. Like there's so many big people in it.
And like it's so weird just seeing like Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
Like
I like the fact that
such a good lineup.
When they say James Gunn was going to make the quote-unquote reboot Suicide Squad, I was excited because I know James Gunn walked in there and said, we're keeping Harley, we're keeping Captain Boomerang, and we're keeping this, and the rest, got it, we're starting over, we're getting random people that no one's ever heard of. Like, I just looked up John Cena, his name's Peacekeeper.
Yep.
Don't know who the fuck that guy is.
I think John Cena said he's a douchebag Captain America.
Yeah. But like in the comics, like where is he? Polka Dot Man is all over the place. Like like I haven't even looked at like who's who, but now after this, I'm just gonna sit there and just like scour the webs and be like, what's that gonna happen?
I think it's cool seeing like Weasel and King Shark. Weasel's fucking creepy, dude. Like, is he like a villain in the comics?
Weasel?
Like, yeah, I've never heard of Weasel.
Oh god, it's been a hot minute.
Let me see this.
I have to almost look it up.
Oh, he was just
hey,
Weasel.
He's from Stanford, AACA, let's get it. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess he's just with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know.
He's the name of two.
Honestly,
DC...
I'm like looking at it like real fast, and it's like he's just from the 1960s. He became a teacher.
Right? It's such a random, like, he just kind of went through the bag of villains and went, yeah, let's do this.
It's like he just started killing, like, random people, and then he tried to kill Firestorm, got yoinked into Suicide Squad, tried to save Hawk, tried to kill the Thinker.
Dude, it's so weird though seeing like King Shark, like, and they didn't say who the actor is, but if you looked at the lineup of names, like they listed off at the end, it said Taika Waititi is playing someone in this film, but since King Shark doesn't have a name, I'm pretty sure that's who he's playing. It just kind of fits.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be really weird for me. I think Taika Waititi. The first thing I think of is Korg.
Same. So
and then even like I've been watching Harley. So like I'm gonna hear that guy's voice too, so it's gonna be a little weird. And then even in Flash, they have King Shark, and his character in Flash is not super well made because I mean CW doesn't have this quadrillion
best budget
to make him, but I mean he looks good, he sounds good, so it's gonna be really weird to like kind of toe that rope. But because it's a movie, I'm not gonna sit there and dwell on it.
Yeah.
Like by the time the movie ends, I'm like, yeah, he's King Shark, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, is it really King Shark? I'm not gonna sit there in the middle of the theater and just like.
Now, like James Gunn said during the panel, like, don't get attached to these characters.
Oh, dude, Suicide Squad rolls over characters like no tomorrow.
So many of these people are gonna die, and I'm just like, who? So in that little footage they showed, it looks like Savant's gonna live a long time. Because Michael Rooker was in a bunch of footage that they showed.
Yeah, Michael Rooker. They could also, he could be in a bunch of footage, then just at the end.
Yeah, it could, honestly. But
yeah, it's just really interesting because DC is in a very weird space where they're almost like everything that Zack Snyder made was quote unquote. They're going almost from the top bottom. Like they're making the Tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the Superman movies, and Justice League kind of branched out, and they kind of have like CW stuff over here and that over there. But because now we're at the point where the Snyder Cut could be the end, and the kind of hubbubaloo, quote unquote, is the Flash solo movie, which any talks at all during any of this, could be quote unquote a Flashpoint movie.
It's going to be Flashpoint.
Yeah,
they said during the panel today it's going to be Flashpoint.
Yeah, that, I guess. So it's kind of weird that they're making all these movies and then Flashpoint's gonna happen. It's like, is Suicide Squad gonna kind of be its standalone thing? Or when Flashpoint happens, it's gonna roll everything back. You know what I mean? So it's weird to think that all the stuff behind the scenes that we don't know is all gonna come down to literally the Flash movie and what's gonna happen in that.
Well, we'll get into that in a second, but I don't know. I know they did the multiverse panel. Like that was one of the first things they did this morning.
Yeah, I missed that. I was doing a whole bunch of stuff with family.
And they were they went through and they're like, listen, Joker's its own thing. The Batman's its own thing. These are all in different multiverses.
Thank God.
But we're gonna have the Flash movie, which is a Flashpoint thing. And it's not gonna bring everything together. It's not. Like, they clarified that. They're like, everything can exist in its own universe in this giant multiverse. But certain things will cross over at some point.
Okay.
But our point is to just be able to do these off-world films where we can just go and do whatever, which I like that.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I was worried that they were going to make all this and then have to lump it all together at the end and just not going to fit. Like, it's very weird to think Suicide Squad and Joker are going to be sharing, like, just chilling in the same Gotham. Like,
yeah, right?
Or like Michael Reeves' Batman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman just going to sit there and chill out, and she's going to look at them like, you're not Ben Affleck, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just a lot of things that I was like worried about. I'm happy that they now just kind of clarified it, especially because CW just did their big Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of thing earlier this year, and they kind of just lumped everything together, which fit more well. But while they were doing it, they were kind of shouting out all the other DC stuff. Yeah,
like they even had Ezra Miller in there for like a second.
Yeah, Ezra Miller just came through, and they were like, it was literally the Spider-Man meme. But I'm dead serious. It was just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they kind of like just they didn't like say what Earth Justice League was on, but like, I mean, Stargirl got her own Earth, Titans got their own Earth, Swamp Thing got his own Earth.
Like they showed a whole like
all the old
clip show, and it showed what Earths had which characters on it. Like they clarified it today, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like they are not on the same planets. Like
we're not.
They are in different universes.
We are not all in this together. We're all separate but equal. We're all vibrating at different sonic frequencies. Thanks, Flash, for teaching me that.
It was cool seeing that though. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I feel like this was DC's way of saying, here's where we're at. Here's everything we're making. Here's everything that's coming in the next 2 years. Just sit back, enjoy it. Just try not to have a nerdgasm, all right? Here we go.
Now, for me, I missed the Flash panel, the movie, and
There was a movie Flash panel?
yeah, there was.
Oh, hey, I missed that too.
I didn't even know it happened right after the multiverse panel, and I was in my room just kind of tidying up, and I was watching it. I didn't even know what happened. I didn't even know what happened. It just... It was 10 minutes. But basically, they confirmed that Michael Keaton's Batman's going to be in the film. Which we kind of knew. There were rumors. There was, like, behind the scenes, like, yes, this is happening. He's coming back as Batman. But I saw people speculating, like, oh, maybe he's going to be Thomas Wayne. Maybe he's gonna be this, but no, it's straight up confirmed now. Like, Flash goes to another dimension where Michael Keaton's Batman's still around, and like Flash's new suit's gonna be made by Batman, so you kind of got that Peter Parker Tony Stark relationship going on,
which is really weird because Flash and Batman don't that relationship.
People were saying, I guess, in the Justice League movie, they kind of get into that a bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, with Ben Affleck, yeah.
Which I feel like we need to sit down and watch Justice League.
No, 100%. I'll just sit there and just be sad. But then and there's like little points where I'm like, oh, this is so nice.
But like, okay. I kind of want to understand it, you know?
Like, yeah, for sure. But yeah.
I'm still surprised Ezra Miller's gonna be Flash.
Yeah.
Because of that whole controversy.
Flash is gonna just throw a big wrench in everything we've seen through DC, which is, I think, honestly, what they needed. I like the fact that, again, like how I said, they kind of took this, here's where we're at, here's what's happening, yada, 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 sit back, enjoy.
I think
the fact that we have so much more clarity, because for the last, like, God, it feels like, since Justice League, we're sitting here like, what's happening?
I think the Flash movie's gonna really explain to the general audience that multiple Batmans can exist at the same time, that multiple characters can exist at the same time, and it's just in a multiverse. Yeah. I think that's what this film's gonna be about. Is that, yes, all these exist. So, hey, maybe in this film, we're gonna see Joaquin Phoenix's Joker for like a minute. Maybe we're gonna see all these...
by and be like, nope, wrong Gotham.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna run by and the riot's gonna be behind him, spoiler alert. He's gonna be like, nope, just kidding.
Now, like, I've seen people, like, speculate, like, when the whole Ben Affleck thing came out, like, he's coming back as Batman, the director said he plays a major, like, role in this movie in the emotional way. So, like, his emotional ties to Flash, like, really are played up in this film. So I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, how big of a role is he gonna have in this? And it's cool seeing he's coming back.
Yeah. I think, one thing I did notice that I mean, obviously people probably caught it, but the camaraderie in, like, for the actual Justice League panel, like, just the way James Gunn and Ben Affleck reacted, or Ezra Miller and everything kind of acted compared to, like, all their videos, it seemed like they were having fun, which I think when everything happened, I think everyone was so kind of, like, reserved and shut off and kind of wanted just to kind of get it not over with, but, like, obviously hopefully they did the best they can, but kind of were just like, it didn't have that same energy that I know Zack Snyder does have for a lot of movies.
I mean, they were in the groove of filming this one film, and then their directors got switched up on them and they had to record an entirely different film.
Yeah, it was like, it was making 2 movies in one time frame. Yeah, I can understand that. Like, but just, like, the way they're answering questions and, like, the camaraderie in between them, you could tell that they all were extremely comfortable with each other, which is very nice to see.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a good amount of panels where, like, the director's sitting there and the guy's like, so how'd you feel? Oh yeah, it was a fun time. It was just,
it was good. It was a good time.
It wasn't like, there's not like a whole bunch of laughing, no one's cracking jokes, no one's making fun of each other, stuff like that.
You can tell they're actual friends.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
I mean, Ezra Miller just looks like he's just like this big, not obnoxious, but just big energy. I think that's just so good to have for Flash.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's gonna be cool seeing, like, when this Flash movie comes out. Like, it, at least knowing it's in production and they're actually, like, finished with the script and they're finally going in.
Yeah, because it feels like we've been waiting forever for just a script or a
It's
director
been
or a
so
writer.
long. Like,
Yeah, there was a time where like every other month it would like something would happen, like it's slightly delayed, and it's delayed again,
yeah.
and it's delayed again.
But like, I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I wonder if Christian Bale's gonna be in the film.
I don't
Just for a bit.
think so.
Like, I don't think he would be.
I could see,
But we're
I don't
already
know.
having 2 Batmans, so
I could see like a more of a
why not?
Joaquin Phoenix kind of just run through of
Mm-hmm.
Gotham. It'd be really interesting if they do that. What scene do they decide to run through?
The bank robbery scene.
That'd be pretty good. I mean, it's the problem is it's just a million scenes you can run through and just meme it up. Like you can run through where it's like, where's Rachel, and you can just have a just good time with that. But it's because I don't know how they're writing Flash is a little more serious.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be goofy. I think what we should be looking at, if they're kind of doing this like Tony Stark, Peter Parker thing, I'm thinking of like Homecoming type vibes to it.
Yeah,
where it's a little bit more lighthearted,
yeah.
but it has its darker moments.
Yeah, where it gets down to the nitty gritty. I could see that.
Which I hope for, because I wanna like this movie. I'm not a huge DC fan. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I love Shazam, but I don't really care about anything else. Like, I like Joker. Nothing's caught my attention.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just we're at the point where now we know it's gonna basically reset everything DC animated, not DC animated, but DC cinematic. Like, this movie has so much pressure on it, which makes me think that the reason why it changed directors or changed writers or X and Y got delayed is because whoever knew they were gonna make it, the whole DC kind of cinematic was kind of like not in your hands, but you were like that first leap of faith.
Yeah, this kind of opens everything up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of like what Doctor Strange 2 is gonna be.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, yeah.
Like, I feel like it's like the same thing. Yeah. It's opening the multiverse.
Yeah.
But you just gotta do it right.
Marvel is gonna be...
It's gonna be insane. Oh my god, it's gonna be insane.
I mean, it's hard to do DC to Marvel because Marvel was working 10 years for one project. Now we're starting over, so
yeah.
And they just decided that this whole next phase is like, we're gonna explore characters that have never been on TV before, just cause.
Now with the Flash, right? How does his him traveling through time work? I know in the Snyder Cut they're gonna get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But as someone who knows nothing about Flashpoint, like, how does he travel through time? How does that work? Tell me.
Speed Force is a force outside of time.
Okay.
So where when he's in the Speed Force, he can run so fast and actually run back in time because time obviously moves at X amount of speed. So like if he wanted to replay the same day over and over again, he can. However, when he does that, if everything doesn't go exactly the way he did it the first time, he says the same thing, he saves the same people, X, Y, and Z, the future could change.
Okay.
So in the original Flashpoint, he runs back in time and saves his mom from Reverse Flash.
And that changes the future.
And that changes his whole future.
Yeah, I saw people talk about like Wonder Woman's bad, and like a bunch of other shit happens.
It's insane. And also in the Speed Force, he could, because as I kind of said before with the multiverse, everyone vibrates at a different frequency, and because Flash can vibrate at a specific frequency, he could run and do that and just magically end up in a different Earth.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they did it with Flash and Supergirl in the CW. He just like he just started running and just strolled into like this random field, and Supergirl's just there like, hey, what's going on? He's like, where am I?
Do you think what's gonna happen in the film is he's gonna discover this? Well, I mean, he obviously discovered it in Justice League in the original Snyder Cut.
Yeah, because he runs back and it says Amy Adams is the key, because Amy Adams is the key.
Yeah. So, do you think he's gonna start playing with it in his film, and something's gonna happen where he slips into this other timeline? Where then Michael Keaton's around as Batman.
I could see kind of like how that story's gonna go. Like he's gonna be kind of just. I feel like the beginning is him gonna kind of just be more Barry Allen, like CSI, stuff like that. You just see him running around his lab getting all these lab results, and like as the day goes on, X, Y, and Z happens. The one thing I did notice in the Justice League, I think it was the Justice League trailer, that he saves a woman and then they just stare longingly into
Supposedly
each other.
that's his girlfriend from the original cut of the film.
Okay, so that's what I thought. Because I was sitting there, I was like, she looks extremely familiar, and then when I went, hello Iris, hello Iris, hello Iris,
It's
and then
Iris,
it cut again, and it was kind of like that moment where I was like, okay, this is what I wanted, but I don't completely know.
It's her.
So I could, yeah,
that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of goosebumps because their relationship is the best. Like if they have to do anything half as good as what CW did with their Barry and Iris, it's gonna be great.
No, it's just
I
like
could see the beginning and kind of have it be like kind of like a post Justice League, like post old Justice League, kind of where Batman is kind of like mentoring, kind of like how that Tony Stark Spider-Man in the MCU has. I could see like that, and then he slowly gets like try to just pick up more speed and see how fast he can go, and eventually he kind of just runs too fast and just lands in Michael Keaton's Bat universe. And it's kind of like the same thing where he has to figure out what year he is, what's this, what's that, stuff like that. And he can't be like in the way. And then
I'm guessing what's gonna happen. He's gonna somehow fuck up and wind up in the Tim Burton verse.
Yeah.
And like he's gonna be like, I just need to find Batman. Like once I find Batman, everything's gonna be fine.
Where's Bruce Wayne real fast?
And he's gonna get there, and he's gonna be like, I don't know who you are. who are you? You don't look anything like my Batman.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna be that, and I that's gonna be good. Like I'm so excited for that. Like how are they gonna explain this multiverse? How are they gonna go through all this? I love seeing stupid shit like that, and it's just so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And it's there's so many like Flashpoint in the original was so big to restart everything, and I just finished all the DC animated movies, and the way that ended was like Darkseid knew the plan, they were going to invade because obviously they're doing war with Earth, yada yada yada. I mean, everyone's read the comics, everyone knows kind of how that happens, and then they just straight up lose because they just knew what they were going to do, and it was just a straight up loss. And then the next movie, which I think is Apocalypse War, is them just kind of just fighting for Earth. Like it's the last time Earth's decimated, X, Y, and Z. Like Dick Grayson is like crazy, Starfire is like half robot, Wonder Woman's like half apocalyptic tech, Cyborg was like part of Apocalypse. Like so much of that just real nitty gritty, that stuff that like when Avengers happened, it had a little bit, but it wasn't like just drag your teeth, bloody mouth, just hard, just adult stuff, which made it so good to watch that finally. And the fact that DC did it, I mean, they've done all these animated movies more towards my age group, where it's more like a teen, it's more like a young adult, it's a little bit more mature, it's not like the 8-year-old can watch it, stuff like that. So I'm really happy that they did that. But the way it ended was flashpointed, like Flash is Flashpoint, and we don't know where it's going. The next movie is, I think, Superman young Superman, yeah, it's something.
Young Son or something.
Superman Young, I can't remember what it is. It's like Superman, I don't know, Superman animated movie. No, Man of Tomorrow. There it is. Comes out in 2020. Like, it's supposed to be like the first movie of the next kind of animated. It's a different art style. I'm excited for it. But I have a feeling this movie with Flash is going to be more of, I wouldn't say it's going to be a fuck up. I think it's going to be more calculated. Like, I would love to say Ben Affleck Batman goes to Flash and say, hey, reset the universe. It needs this for X amount of reasons, and he does. And then I would love to see like either Ben Affleck come back or one of the 10 million people that people think that could play Batman come back, or X, Y, and Z. I would love to see kind of like it's more of a team saying, hey, let's start it over, stuff like that. Not so much Ezra Miller just runs and goes and shows up and is like, wait, where am I?
I just hope we see more of this film soon, and it's not stuck
I would
in
love
production
to get a
hell.
little bit more like just anything, concept art, random set photos, anything literally, just to get a little bit more of an idea of how it's gonna look.
Now, I'm surprised we didn't get any like Joker 2 announcement today.
I think Joker 2 is so far away. I think that's 2023, 2024.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's a little far back. Yeah, I think it's
because
I didn't love Joker.
You didn't?
Because I wanted it to be a comic book movie. It was kind of more. It was basically they took the concept of Joker and made it just a huge concept so much to where it's not so much his character, but everything he goes through, all the mental health stuff, all the poverty stuff. Like they made it more a movie.
It's a character study.
It's more like I've never been a big fan of all like the Oscars and the Emmys and all like the and I can't remember what other movie awards. I've never been like.
You're not a fan of like character studies.
Best movie and stuff like that. Avatar's the best movie. I've been like, oh, they're good, but they're not something I'm like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. So I like the idea that when Joker first came out, I mean the set looked good, the story, what I knew so far was I knew it was going to be good, and then I started watching it and they just went nitty gritty and dark, which I'm completely okay with, but I just didn't like how. I'm trying to. I don't want to say dark and edgy because I just said I liked it dark and edgy.
But that wasn't so comic book driven.
Yeah, I wanted more comic book. I guess you could say comic book driven. But I mean, it took just. I mean, if you don't call it Joker and you don't use Gotham as the city and you don't, you know what I mean? Like you just.
Yeah, if you made its own thing, it would still work.
It would still be a good movie, but because it had, I guess, has the backing of the DC guys watching it. I don't know. I know everyone has their own opinion on it. I'm probably not in the wrong, obviously, because everyone's opinion matters.
Yeah.
But I just didn't love it. And I think it's. Because DC had all kind of like because they're gonna restart kind of all their stuff. I think they wanted everything that they want to do now. That's I would say more important. Obviously, every second movie is probably just as important as the first, depending on the fan base. That, but I think it's probably just too far back to where they couldn't just throw together something. Because I feel like all this was so planned out and so well executed that it seemed weird. Because imagine if you were going from like, I'm trying to look at the schedule. Imagine if you went. I'm trying to think of. Like, you went from the Snyder Cut panel to Flash to Black Adam to Titans to Aquaman to Wonder Woman's 80th to Shazam to the Batman panel, and then ended off with like a random like Joker 3-minute weirdly thrown together no storyline. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just kind of weird. The only thing they could have done is in between the panels they kind of had like a fan section. Or it'd be kind of cool if they did something in between that was more not like a trailer but kind of like more like a teaser. I think that would have been okay. But I'm still sticking to it was just too far off.
For me, I liked the film a lot because it was different. It felt just so different from any other comic book film we've ever gotten. And I appreciated that because they tried something different. They went with a character study of the Joker, a character with no real backstory. We don't know who the fuck the Joker is. He's just the Joker. So it was cool seeing this story. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. And I know since it made so much freaking money that there's no way they're not doing a sequel.
Yeah.
And like the guy's like, I can come up with the story. Like, we're gonna do it. And I'm pretty sure Joaquin's on board with it. So that's all why I'm like, okay, we didn't hear anything about Joker 2.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just too far back, too far.
Like we heard about Shazam 2 today, like they did a title reveal, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, okay, Fury of the Gods. It also Sinbad's in the movie.
I didn't watch a whole lot of Shazam. I knew Shazam 2 was like already quote unquote like slotted into a slot because I kind of had after Justice League. I know after Justice League, I knew the next movies that were most likely to be made. It was Matt Reeves' Batman, Suicide Squad, Black Adam, and this is probably a little far off.
Black Adam's next year.
Is it really next year?
It's next year.
I thought it was 2022.
No, it's 2021.
I mean, finally, like, let's be honest, like...
Took 10 years.
I mean, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said that. It's like, this has been, like, years in the making.
Yeah.
It literally has been, like, years in the making.
He announced it, like, 10 years ago.
God, yeah, it feels like 2010. It was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to play Black Adam. When? Eventually.
And I gotta say, like, with Shazam, they just did a cute little panel where they announced the title. They didn't talk at all about the film.
Yeah, I think that was also just a little far back.
But, dude, Black Adam...
Dude,
it's so good.
Like, I got goosebumps when I saw Dr. Fate. Like, straight up, like, my hair was just like goosebumps. Atom Smasher, when
Atom
came on as
Smasher,
Atom Smasher, I was excited
Hawkman.
because I don't know any of his storyline. But dude, when Dr. Fate came out, straight up goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps now, if you can tell.
Dude, it's I holy shit, dude. I was not expecting, was it the JSA?
Yeah, the JSA. And I've been watching Stargirl, so I've been sitting here like going through all JSA stuff recently because
Dude,
I just finished Stargirl and the next season's gonna be on CW, so I have to kind of not catch up, but kind of see where.
I remember when we were kids, like was Hawkeye or Hawkman in like a bunch of like the cartoons and stuff?
No.
Was he not?
No.
Why do I remember
we saw quote unquote Hawkman in any animated thing was Justice League when the Thanagarians occupied Earth to say, hey, by the way, we're saving you from X, Y, and Z, but we're actually gonna blow up your planet to make a giant boom tube to.
Why do I remember Hawkman so clearly? Like as a kid,
art styles never changed.
As a kid, I've always liked his design. Like when I was a kid, I was just like, "That's a cool ass superhero."
Because he's basically He-Man with wings and a bird hat.
Yeah, but like, just seeing them, I'm just like, "Oh shit!" Like we're actually getting another superhero team in this film.
Yeah, I like the idea that The Rock is playing the bad guy or the anti-hero, he says, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he says he's an anti-hero. I'm like, no, he's the bad guy of this film.
Yeah, he is the bad guy. I like the idea that he's the bad guy, and then we get... Because Black Adam, his arc is so cool. I mean, if you ever played any Injustice games, the first one's not super bad on him, but the second one kind of more explores kind of like what he stands for. And I haven't read too much of his comics, but I do understand him as a character. It just seems kind of weird to me that he's more of a Shazam, like, first villain. Not like first villain, but like the first thing you think of when you think Black Adam is like, oh, he's Shazam. Yeah. So it's weird
it's like
to
Dr.
think
Doom
and Shazam's getting another villain. And I guess the third movie and the second movie, they kind of battle it out. I guess that's what they're planning.
I'm guessing Shazam 2, we're going to see Black Adam. Right? Like, if we're getting Black Adam, then Shazam 2, I feel like it has to lead right into that.
Yeah, I mean, then Shazam 2, it has to be late 2023 into 2024.
Well, if Black Adam's coming out next year, let me look this up.
It has to be like late.
Black Adam comes out. Where the hell is it?
I don't know if they officially set a date.
No.
But it's a year.
Oh, 2021. So it's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Now, when Shazam 2? I think Shazam 2 is either next year or 2022.
It has to be
2022. November 2022.
That's a quick turnaround.
So it's 2 years.
That's a quick turnaround.
I feel like Shazam, out of all the movies, doesn't take that much for...
No, I'm talking about if they're doing Black Adam and they do immediately into Shazam 2. It's going to be really interesting because if all of a sudden
it's just too fast?
The Rock doesn't go any more movies and he kind of disappears off the movie screen for like 9-10 months, I think you can almost say for sure. But if you see The Rock do some random Jumanji or do some random Disney movie like Moana 2 or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden you see him in there, it'd be really hard to kind of swing it to say Black Adam is in Shazam 2. For me, it's really hard to say, oh yeah, Shazam 3 is getting a movie for sure after not seeing Shazam 2.
Yeah, maybe Shazam 3 is...
It's really hard to swing that.
What if Black Adam 2 is the one versus Shazam?
It'd be weird.
I know we're all like, oh, Shazam 3 or Shazam 2. What if it's not? What if he's not in Shazam, but Shazam's in his movie?
I think that'd be pretty cool to kind of flip the script and have... it's so hard because, I mean, Dwayne said his expectations are just as high as ours, and that's pretty bold thing to say. So I could imagine the fan base being more on Black Adam's side to where he's quote-unquote the main character, and then Shazam will come in and be quote-unquote the villain, but he's a hero. So I could see that.
Kind of like an Infinity War situation where Thanos is the protagonist, but he's the villain of the film.
Yeah, I could see that. but at the same time, it's like it's hard to imagine. I think it'd be cool to do, but I mean, it's in my mind having a movie come out probably middle of 2021 and then flipping over to August of next year and having go back-to-back movies. That's a lot of rush for a movie that has a lot of hype after the movie that just had a bunch of hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Like for me personally, I don't want things to be rushed anymore.
No, take their. I want them to take the time. See, you know what I realized? We're at the end of 2020, like, but they haven't even filmed Black Adam. It's not coming out next year.
I mean, they could have done a lot. I mean, hell, just look at the Mandalorian stuff like that. All that was green screen. Like, no one knew about that. And that only took, what, they said 8 months of filming?
Yeah.
And then it only took 4 months to take it all in the episode and edit it and stuff like that. Like, that was a whole year production.
It was a quick turnaround. Just like that. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, maybe they started filming Black Adam and we just haven't known. Yeah. Like, they could have... But at the same time, maybe they were going to start filming already, and it just got backed up.
Yeah, and they had all this stuff already pre-recorded and stuff like that, and they were like, let's just have Dwayne just cut a promo. He's really good at those. Like, it's his job for something.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it.
I'm so excited.
The JSA, for me, I never got into it, because by the time I was watching, it was all DC animated stuff, like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, stuff like that. So I didn't get the JSA, I just got straight up Justice League. I didn't get Silver Age or Bronze Age. And as I'm getting older, these movies are pulling small stuff from the Bronze Age and from the Golden Age and from the Silver Age and stuff like that. And I'm going back farther and farther in time. And then since Stargirl, I've went all the way back to the beginning. And all the names I know and stuff like that. Stargirl is, out of this whole year, a bright spot for me. I don't think it's like, oh my god, it's amazing. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably more than I thought I would have.
Is it really good?
I really enjoy it. Like, if you want to see it, I will sit down and watch after we finish recording this, and I'll watch the first episode with you.
Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I'm down.
Yeah, but I mean, the JSA is such a cool concept, because watching Dr. Fate just show up there, it was like, it brought back all the feels of Young Justice, which I'm not sad about, because in Young Justice it's all about the young heroes and stuff like that, but Dr. Fate was kind of a really big turning point in the series itself, to kind of have Zatanna become part of the team. And then as they kind of do more and more leaps in years towards they get older and stuff like that, they kind of just fall back on it and stuff. But I like the idea that we're getting the original Dr. Fate, or technically the original comic book Dr. Fate. Yeah. The other one, the way it happens is in Young Justice, Nabu, who actually is the spirit of the helmet, needs an Earth body to inhabit, to use, basically, and obviously he fights for order.
So wait, the power's from the helmet?
Yeah, so the power is from the helmet. Think of it like this, like, I'm trying to think how to imagine. I'm trying to figure out how do I relate this to MCU.
So like if Doctor Strange's powers came from the cape,
or came from the oh my god, what's the crest called?
Yeah, the little amulet.
Or like how Scarlet Witch is, obviously she's a little different, but she's kind of like meta, quote unquote. But this one is all mystical energy, so it's kind of more Dr. Fate-esque.
Okay.
Where he's learned like mystical arts and stuff like that. But the original guy, I can't remember his name, but in Young Justice, he's like this older guy, but he's also like, because he has all this mystical stuff throughout the years, he's like 150 but looks like 80.
Damn.
And it's so cool to see that we're getting the original, quote unquote young version. We don't know who's acting. The only one we know is The Rock's in it, and the guy who's in every goddamn Netflix teen comedy, teen love stories in it, which I don't mind, because I actually like him as an actor.
I just want to see who else they're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, Hawkman is not my favorite character, because I'm more of a Hawk woman and a Hawk girl and the Green Lantern kind of shipper personally. Not trying to jack anyone up or start some riots in the comment section, but that's more of my thing. That's just because I watched Justice League. That was the first time I saw all these characters kind of like have all these ships and stuff like that. But I like the idea that we're getting all that before, we're getting all this before, we're getting all of it before everything happens. Like all of the, I just like the fact that we're going back and we're probably gonna be chilling in like the 1940s, 1920s, stuff like that. You know, like we're going Prohibition or who knows, maybe Great Depression or booming 40s, the Roaring 30s. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff.
I think Black Adam's taking place current day.
Really, it's gonna be current?
Yeah, it's gonna be current day.
Oh, I'm kind of upset now.
I'm pretty sure. I think it's happening current day. I would love for them
to go back and do it old school.
Because if they bring it current day, right, then Shazam's around already.
Yeah.
I mean, he was obviously missing during the Shazam film.
Yeah, like we were all waiting for like, hey, by the way, Black Adam's at the end. He's gonna come at the end. We're like,
yeah, like there was nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, there
like
was
Black
hints.
Adam
there was
Shazam's
hints at,
like main thing.
There was hints at Black Adam, like through the film and like drawings, and I'm just like, okay, they're setting up the Rock. Like, it's gonna happen. But when there was nothing, I'm like, okay, next one.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he existed and wasn't still away, like banished,
yeah,
we would have heard something about him in the film, like oh yeah, he's terrorizing or doing this. But
yeah, like there would have been like some form of thing. But I feel like Shazam was so fun.
Yeah.
That they didn't want to have like a guy come in and be like, oh, by the way, you want to stay out of Egypt. Don't worry about Egypt.
I could see though that like it takes place modern day. He awakens and there's just a B team of superheroes going after him.
Yeah, like I could imagine. I wouldn't say modern day. I could see this be kind of like a prequel to Shazam 2.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah.
Let's say that he's the villain, quote unquote, of Shazam 2. And his Black Adam movie that comes out before is a prequel for it. I'd be totally okay with that.
I don't know. We just gotta wait and see because we don't even know when we're getting this. I'm guessing 2022. We know nothing.
Are we at the CW Flash panel now?
Yeah. If you want to get into this.
So, obviously, the Flash got cut by COVID. They only had 19, 20 episodes instead of 24 or whatever. I can't remember how many episodes they were, but everything the CW ended was like they just started writing a page and it just printed and they hit print and like they went all the way down to the bottom and like, oh, we're out of paper. Okay, we'll see you in whenever. So like the Flash ended on so many cliffhangers, and I feel like this panel didn't give us too much of a tease for next year. The only things we know is that Iris is still in the Mirrorverse. There's another Iris kind of jacking with her mind. Barry is trying to make a new Speed Force because he's running low. Godspeed, I guess, is the next big villain. Cause I guess they kind of wrap up Eva as Mirror Master, which I'm not super keen on. But I think they kind of have to because she was supposed to get an ending last season. But again, it kind of just cut. Basically, what happened was she just switched places with Iris, which isn't super exciting for like her character. But I mean, I enjoyed last season. I enjoy all the CW. Like, there's obviously some kind of stinker seasons. You can go all the way back to Arrow. There's a couple seasons where it's just like, oh god, it's like not hard to watch. But I feel more excited for this season because a lot of the characters got turned upside down. Like, just to go off Iris West, throughout the whole season, she was going to write how the Flash disappeared, and it was Iris West, and became Iris West Allen when they started kind of like falling for each other finally. It took like 10,000 years, it feels like. And then Caitlin Snow, who's supposed to be Killer Frost, kind of got Frost. Instead of just being like, hey, I'm showing for a battle, pew pew, shoot some ice rockets out of my hands, yada yada yada, free some people. Okay, bye, peace out, I'm going back into Caitlin. She got a whole quote unquote character arc where she's now talking out, she has emotions, she's a human, stuff like that. Cisco took the Medicure, he now doesn't have vibe powers, which I'm not super happy about. I love Cisco as a character, I love him as Vibe. If you look up Vibe and you go like 1970s Vibe, 1980s vibes, he's got the big hair, the V, his outfit is awful. In the CW, they like just made it so much more exciting to watch. And then his character arc just kind of took a complete 180. Like, he doesn't have it, he's trying to figure out where he is in the team, He lost the girl of his dreams. Danny Trejo is supposed to be like his grandson, his
What?
father-in-law. Like it's just like everything just got yoinked out from under him. I'm just like, oh come on.
I feel like I need to watch.
Yeah, dude, he got
Flash
like
now.
the freaking short end of the stick on writing after multiverse and everything. Oh my god, I was feeling it. I was like,
dude,
this sucks.
I've been hearing such good things about that show, and I haven't sat down and watched it.
Everyone in almost every character in this season just got
turned upside down.
Everyone, yeah, just going back. Iris finally got a reporter, which we've been waiting forever. Flash has no powers. Killer Frost is a person. Vibe has no powers. The 10 million Harrison Wells is another one. There's two new recruits, and they kind of fit in pretty well. Like this, and then everything kind of just. The only person who stayed straight up the same was Joe, which is great. He's like the straight up just normal dude. Just don't mind me. The only thing he got was police captain, which wasn't like this huge big thing. It just felt like the captain was kind of just there. I like the idea that this season, because Crisis was smack dab in the middle, it felt like it was two parts.
That's cool.
Because they had blood work at the beginning, which I wasn't super in love with. But I mean, it got them to Crisis, and then after Crisis, they got more into the Mirrorverse and stuff like that. So I like the fact they did that. I know the cast likes the fact that their characters got flipped upside down.
It gives them like a whole new perspective, and they get to kind of play with the character.
Of, like the fact that they can do X, Y, and Z. So I like the fact that they did that. But I feel so bad because COVID cut so much of their cutting, or so much of their filming.
Yeah.
That I didn't feel like I got the season finale that I thought I should have, or they were expecting to get.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be back soon. It seems like a lot of places are kind of lightening up on restrictions for filming. Yeah, at least in other countries so far. So
Toronto, Montreal, they're in Canada.
Oh, okay. Well, Canada's open, I think. So
yeah, but I think a lot of the people live in LA or live in the United States, so customs may not. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that
I know
are definitely low man on totem pole to talk about. But I know that what they're talking about is the first episode is apparently the last thing they filmed for season 7. So I don't know if they're gonna wrap that up, but I know the guy who said it is like it's just filled with Easter eggs. So I haven't sat down and like, not frame by frame, but just like scene by scene and kind of like just think about what it is. Again, I took this all in, and I just watched it. This whole like probably tomorrow, this next week, I'm just gonna slowly just kind of not nitpick it, but just kind of like just highlight everything that I'm excited for. So I mean, I'm obviously excited for CW. Just anything CW, I'm excited for. Like Legends got not so much of like they kind of were just there. I feel kind of bad for them. They were just like in between thing, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
CW, I feel like DC. Again, I'm gonna say they had some duds with a couple of the panels, but the ones I watched, I'm just impressed. I'm excited. The hype that I was feeling before just like quadruple, because I was like, oh, here we go, DC, please don't mess it up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, after all these years, they finally just figured it out.
Like, I think some of the panels were dragging on too long. Like, I think we saw too much of the Wonder Woman 1984 stuff, but I get they want to hype up the movie because it's coming out soon.
It's the first one that's coming out.
But then there's a couple things where it's like, I mean, Beyond Batman was cool.
Yeah.
Legacy of the Bat was cool. The Chris Daughtry thing, that was cool.
Yeah. I really liked the voices behind the cowl, the one with all the different voice actors.
That one was cool.
I really liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Because
I never thought about like any of the dubs and have the same voice actors. I didn't realize that people were just like, I guess I'll just be Batman. At least like everyone was like, oh my god, he's great in their country. They're like, oh my god, he's Batman. Like,
this is Batman.
Can you imagine going to Italy and be like, hey, what's your Batman's name? And then knowing like it's like, for us knowing it's Conroy or Ben Affleck or Christian Bale or Michael Keaton or X, Y, and Z Adam West, and just knowing that all that stuff, and then knowing that, just think, having all those movies having the same, whatever your favorite Batman voice, having that same voice throughout all those movies.
It's so weird. Like,
it's weird to think about, but at the same time, can you imagine if, like, what's your favorite Batman voice?
God, I think my favorite Batman voice was, I like Will Arnett's Batman voice.
Yeah, Will Arnett's Batman voice is good, but for me, it's always gonna be Kevin Conroy. Like, it's gonna be the original. Like, that's
Oh
just,
shit, yeah. No, never
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Like, could you imagine? I mean, it's hard to think that. Can you imagine? I'm saying it like, as we're obviously not seeing Ben Affleck talk, but it'd be weird to think Ben Affleck has the same voice as Kevin Conroy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like
But
they
that's
have
what it is for everyone else. It's the same.
yeah, it's the same sounding
voice.
Batman.
If you listen to Kevin Conroy being Batman, regardless of what the dude looks like and animated and anything. One thing I did like is they did shout out the video games and how much fun they were to make, and how the DC Lego games were so much fun. DC movies, the DC Lego movies were so much fun because they wrote it because they wrote it basically in the essence of fun. Like, I think one of the guys said voice acting the DC Batman Lego games was the most fun he's ever had. I thought that was just so cool.
I think it was cool that they showed us stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was stuff I wasn't expecting. I thought this was just going to be a bunch of announcements. And it was just... I thought that's all it was. But, like, actually seeing, like, interviews and just, like, these little...
I told you, I think this is what they were going to do at Comic-Con, I swear.
I mean, they did it freaking well. Like, I like Jim Lee's, like, portfolio look at.
Yeah.
Ask Harley Quinn was cool. The Wonder Woman A celebration was cool. But yeah, I think the only thing was I was kind of bugged by how much we saw of the Wonder Woman 1984 stuff. I was just like, okay, I get it. I just want to see the movie already. Yeah, Suicide Squad was a letdown. The game, the panel was great. The game was a letdown. There was a couple like panels that I'm just like, okay, this is going on for a while. The Static Shock panel was cool. That was freaking great. God. And everything else was pretty good. There's just a couple things that were just going on for too long.
Yeah. Other than that, there's a couple panels where I kind of was like, I had playing in the background, but I was like looking at other things. I was like doing a whole bunch of things kind of at the same time. And there's some panels where I was like, this is what I'm watching.
Yeah. And okay, so the next thing, next one is on September 12th.
Oh, we haven't talked about Titans yet. I'm so excited for Titans.
It's more comic-based ones, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, what's going on with Titans?
I'm so excited. I was I know I was texting you and I was screaming. So
also, Robin's not called BlueJ. That's my name.
Yeah. So the way it worked is it was a panel. It was run by Insider Weekly or whatever, one of the magazines.
Yeah.
And they had the guy who plays Nick Grayson, Corey. Like, they had almost everyone except, who were they missing? They were missing one specific person that I knew stood out. Who were they missing? Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Are they missing anyone? Hold on.
They had a big cast of people on there though.
Yeah, they had like everyone on there, which I thought was so cool. But they kind of summarized this season. They had like the fan favorite clips. And I feel like season 2, they hit their stride. And I'm talking like they hit their stride. Like they just...
It just works.
Hit it and ran with it. And it was so good. Like, season 1 was like walking around with like a 50-pound weight on your shoulder in the mud. Like, it was so... It had its moments, but it was so dragged on. It was hard. It was gritty. It was like... Oh, like, it was hard at times to watch. And then season 2, they all of a sudden, I feel like it's like they're almost climbing a hill. And season 2, they just ran down the hill and just was full speed. So many good moments, so many great things came out of season 2.
I feel like with every show season 1, it's kind of like dragging just to see what works. And then with season 2,
season 1 was hard to watch.
Was it really?
Season 1 is hard to watch. For me, knowing so much about DC, you might not have as hard as opinion, but season 1 was like...
It was just...
Like, season 1, I'd rather...
watch Teen Titans
Season 1 was like Thor 2 for me.
Oh, okay.
The whole point of Thor 2, Aether. That's the whole point. The whole point was that. That was the whole movie.
Yeah.
There was no other big redeeming qualities of that.
It.
Like, yes, Kat Dennings and the intern were great. It was comedic relief, and those are good moments. The professor walking around with no pants, that was great. But, like, season 1 was a drag. And then season 2, we get so much stuff. We get Ravager. Oh, the girl who played Ravager was his Deathstroke's daughter. She wasn't in the panel, which kind of makes me a little bit nervous.
That maybe she's gone.
But maybe there's just some conflicting schedule and stuff like that.
But it's also quarantine, so I feel like they'd be there.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like everyone's home. You can't get on a Zoom call for like an hour or whatever it was. I don't know. She wasn't in there. It took me a second to get there. But they're going through all this stuff. They're talking about next season and kind of X, Y, and Z. And they're kind of just summing up all the fan favorites and the questions of like what's hard, stuff like that. The girl who plays Dawn, Minka Kelly, gave a shout out to her stunt double because she's like, I try to wear those wings. Learning how to move with those is so hard. She does all the work. Like I thought that was really nice because in the whole behind the scenes, everyone knows Minka Kelly is like the sweetest person on the face of the earth and stuff like that. Alan Richardson and the guy who plays Jason Todd, I can't remember his name. I know his Instagram handle is CurDog. I can't remember what the heck his actual name is. I feel so bad. But their energy together is so good. You could tell that the cast really came together. The girl who plays Donna Troy and Anna Diop as Starfire, you know they have camaraderie, and there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff of them just hanging out. So it's nice to see that the second season, I feel like the people who play them knew how to play them, how to act with the other people before the actors, the characters they were playing knew how to character with everyone. I like that made such a big difference compared to the first season.
Like, okay, I'm looking at promo art from season 1 to season 2. Dude, the character designs of just Beast Boy and Starfire look so much better in season 2.
The season 1, like, Beast Boy is this weird, kind of like, he's wearing, like, this weird tracksuit. It gets a little bit better. But then Starfire is, like, this fur coat, like, pink sparkly dress. It's so weird. It makes sense when you watch the season, how, like, why they do this. But by that second season, you're like, just come on, like, just give me what I want. And they finally do. Everyone kind of gets more into costume. Everyone kind of has their own kind of style.
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. But the big thing that I liked is the guy who writes it, or the executive producer, was like, oh, hey, by the way, we're getting Red Hood casually. Like,
just like, yeah, it's happening.
Casually. He's like, so what are we looking for season 3? Like, what's gonna happen? He's like, oh, there's a couple of stuff happen, like, all the characters. Oh, yeah, and we're getting Red Hood. And you can see the kid who plays Jason just sit there like, I've known about this for like 10,000 years. I'm so excited to finally say it. Like, you could tell that everyone knew, or maybe not anyone knew, but you could tell he's just sitting there like waiting for it.
He was waiting, yeah.
And for me, the last time we saw Red Hood was Under the Red Hood, or, I mean, doing Justice, but that whole Jason arc, I'm now excited to see how they adapt it, because originally the way it happened was, it was a comic that people literally voted by sending in something to DC and said, do you want to have Jason dead or Jason alive? And they had Jason die, and it was like, barely. And that's how Red Hood was born.
Really?
Because, yeah, literally, I'm dead serious. Look up how Jason became Red Hood. Literally, Joker kills him because Batman wasn't fast enough, but that comic before, there was like Gap or whatever, and they were literally sending it there and was like, hey, how do you want us to end this? How do you want us to do this? X, Y, and Z.
Oh my
and literally,
God.
It was so close. It's by far the coolest arc I think DC has ever done, with the fans specifically in mind.
Joker just fucking kills him?
Yeah, straight up. Which is why when we saw it in the first Justice League, the Joss Whedon / Zack Snyder, when we see that, we're like, hello, Red Hood, again. Because that's the idea. But then Zack Snyder came out and says Dick Grayson. I'm not a super big fan of that, but that's in the past. I don't think it's gonna have anything to do with his Snyder Cut. But the fact that he casually says that, and then like slides in, oh, by the way, Commissioner Barbara Gordon, I'm just sitting there like, hello, this is gonna be so awkward for Dick, so awkward for Nightwing, because those are his two main love interests with Barbara Gordon and Starfire. There's a couple smaller ones, but those like the main two that people ship. And me being a Nightwing fan, I'm just like, this is either gonna be really, really awkward or really, really funny. So I was just so excited, just because they just casually did. There's no trailers, there was no like anything like this. The guy was like, send the camera, we're getting Red Hood and we're getting Barbara Gordon, you're welcome, like straight up.
God, it's so cool. Like I'm glad it seems like the show's actually finally taking off, because
my God, so good. Season 2, oh,
I really want to check it out just because of how much you're hyping up season 2 for me. It's like,
This
it
is
sounds
season
like it gets
3.
better.
Yeah, this is season 3. Oh yeah, Superboy's in it. We get Crypto the dog.
I
And the
saw
dude,
that. I was just like, freaking Crypto.
the dude who plays
Superdog.
Superboy is like, so like, how do you feel like your acting style changed, or whatever the question was about his acting? He's like, yeah, when Crypto's in scene, it's almost impossible to like not mess up. Like he just saves the scene. And I was dying. I'm like, yeah, I mean, come on, guys.
It's
Like, it
Crypto
was
the
so
fucking
cool. Like,
Superdog, dude.
my favorite thing about anything that we see on TV or see in reality TV or on YouTube and stuff is when they do interviews or they do behind the scenes stuff, and you see them as a person, not so much as either the character or the persona they're doing.
Yeah.
But you see them as
Just
their
being
usual
them.
self.
Yeah. And I think with everyone being home right now too, it just kind of helps with that. Like if they were in like, if they were at a panel, I feel like you're still kind of like on edge a bit.
Yeah.
But like when you're at home and you just have a green screen behind you, like,
Or whatever.
It's so laid back.
Yeah, for sure. I just enjoyed it. I like all of it. Like when I first saw the casting for Brendan Thwaites as Dick Grayson, I was like, I wasn't hyped for it, but at the same time, DC was announcing they're in early production for a Nightwing movie. So I was really worried that whoever casted first was kind of more gonna be more in the long run. I think the Nightwing and the Batgirl movies are probably just scrapped. I think they told Joss Whedon, nope, we didn't like your Justice League. We're gonna scrap all your ideas because Batgirl, who's supposed to write it, I think they kind of just recycled it into Titans, which I'm super excited about because Batgirl's another great comic to read, another great character, Batman family, quote unquote. But I just thought it was so cool that I feel like everything on streaming, like Titans and Stargirl. I can't say too much about Swamp Thing because I know they had like 3 episodes and I kind of haven't watched it because I knew people liked it, but it wasn't like a home run. It wasn't out of the ballpark. And everything that's kind of streaming, I feel like they're to the fans.
I mean, it got canceled after episode 1 aired.
Yeah.
So it's like, it didn't really have a chance to live. I know people supposedly really like it.
Yeah.
But I think it's crappy that the show didn't even get a chance to live. Like, studio canceled it immediately. I don't think that's cool. I'm glad it's on CW now, though, so people get to enjoy it there. So maybe it'll get revived, but...
Or they'll use it in, like, X amount of characters. I don't know. I feel like DC Universe as a streaming and all that stuff is really in an interesting spot. I know I'm kind of segueing into HBO Max and stuff like that.
I mean, everything's supposedly just about to move over.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a little far off. The only thing I don't like is I'm fine with it going over to HBO Max, but I like the idea of still having the comic
service.
If I just wanna, like, it's. I'm gonna quote it to. I'm not gonna quote it, but I don't know if when you first got your Switch, the first thing you did was dock it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what was the first game you played on your Switch?
The first game I played on my Switch was Breath of the Wild.
So you docked it and you played on your TV. I'm guessing. And that moment when it's on your TV is the moment when I first read my favorite comic on my television. I was like,
wait, what?
Yeah, so DC Universe, it is on Fire Stick or whatever it's on. You can click on the comics and you can read them on your TV.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's incredibly cool.
I didn't even know that.
It's so incredibly cool to like just sit there in your bed and obviously not everyone has either big TV or small TV, but just sitting there and just because when the Titans first season aired, I didn't have a Fire Stick and I was watching it on my phone. And when you're on your phone, the quality can dip. So the whole first season, I was either at like 720, then 1080p, and then 4K, and then 1080. And I was kind of moving back and forth because my internet wasn't the best spot. Obviously, everyone in my family was kind of watching stuff like that. But now that's on the Fire Stick, it almost strictly is at least 1080p, which is incredibly nice to watch it.
I bet.
But then I was just going through it. I just clicked the comic book after I just clicked. I was like, comics. Can I read? And I read Nightwing 1, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It was so cool. It was literally like the first time I got my Switch and I put in Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield and just ran around. I was like, oh, this is great.
Dude, that's awesome though. I did not realize that you could like read comic books on your TV like that.
Yeah, it's so incredibly cool. You can even do it where you want the whole TV to have the screen. You can do it to where
it can just be like panel by panel.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Now I gotta say, I think we'll close it off with the Batman.
Yeah. So
what did you think about this freaking trailer? Because they only have a quarter of this movie done.
Yeah.
They still have 7 weeks left of filming. But dude, what they've done so far, like this is a year 2 Batman film. So this isn't his first time around as Batman, but he's still getting the hang of things. And Robert Pattinson's doing a good freaking job. Like, you can just tell he's just like, I don't know, it's such a different take on Bruce Wayne. Like, he's so out of it.
Yeah, it's a whole new Batman. I'm pretty sure they're taking... It's hard to think what comic they're taking because it's almost like Batman's alone, which is weird because the Alfred's always kind of just around.
I mean, he has Alfred, but I maybe they just haven't filmed that stuff yet.
Yeah.
I think. But dude, it's just... it's so good.
Yeah, it looks incredibly good and action-packed and looks like it's gonna just make another good Batman film. The only thing that I'm not worried about, but I'm intrigued in, is the fact that we're redoing Riddler. Because I knew when this first came out, there was no villain spectacles. So I was really nervous when I started seeing and I saw the guy taped up, and I was like, oh, it's Riddler. And the first thing I came to was, oh my god, Drew Carey. And I realized that was the last Riddler we got.
Or Jim Carrey.
On the screen. And I was like, wait, hold on, it's actually time then. I'm sitting like, I sat there and I was like, oh no, it's Riddler. The first thing I thought of was Jim Carrey. I was like, this is not what I wanted.
But yeah, dude, like...
And then I realized, okay, this is going to be a little more dark, a little more gritty, kind of more... Yeah. I think DC is in that point where it's more for a slightly older generation, to where you almost want to be a teenager to watch these, if not like 12 or 13, kind of like in that area is like the youngest. You don't want to stroll your 5-year-old in. So the director said this film's more of a noir film. So it's it's more like mystery and like solving the crime. Yeah.
And I'm just I love that. Like Catwoman's in this, and like we're just gonna see all that, and I'm just like, it's so cool. It's just different. Yeah, it's a whole new take on Batman. Like Batman kind of has the same kind of run, like takes over Gotham, random villain blows up Gotham, has to go hunt him, eventually puts him in jail, X, Y, and Z. This is, I feel like it's still gonna have that same kind of up and down roller coaster, but I feel like it's gonna be so much more in depth on how Batman solves stuff. Everything, more, we get that like
almost the DC animated, not DC animated, more like Batman the animated series, the first season when he's like, the first thing I think of is like when the first episode I think is Man-Bat. I want to say the first episode is Man-Bat, and he takes the hair that he gets whomped on after Man-Bat just whomps on him. He takes the hair and the scratches and everything, and he cross references to everything, and that's how he figures out it's this kind of bat. And he goes through Gotham and says this guy has it, and then eventually you get kind of like that roller coaster effect. I would love to see that. I love the noir aspect of it. I think it's just something that hasn't been done. But I remember when they first came out and Matt Reeves is making a Batman, I'm like, okay, Matt Reeves can direct. I'm with this. And as Ben Affleck as Batman, I was like, all right, here we go. Like, this is so old. Like, this was before, I think, Justice League, after Justice League. Yeah, it was before, I think. Yeah, so I was like, all right, here we go. Like, we're getting it. And then everything obviously happened with Justice League, and it was kind of like, it's still happening. And Ben Affleck was like, I'm going to take a step back. I don't want to be Batman. I have an idea for Batman. And then Robert Pattinson got casted, and everyone was like, he can't do it. He's a vampire. I was like, guys, take his face and just go like this. Yeah. Does he look like Batman? And everyone's like, wait, hold on. Like, he's done so much stuff besides Twilight, and he's done a really good job, dude. Like, yeah, but I know everyone was like, but no one, everyone's gonna see him as I can't remember what his name. Everyone's thinking, was it Edward? Yeah, Edward. I don't think everyone's thinking about that. Any of the Twilights. I remember seeing the first one, being like, how can people enjoy this? I remember seeing Vampires Suck. That was a great movie. That was. Remember parody movies? We don't get that anymore. Parody movies were the bomb. They gotta bring those back. We don't get that anymore. No, we don't. They kind of killed it though. They killed it. Yeah. But dude, I don't know. Like, I think it's cool seeing the more detective side of Batman in this, and that's why I like that, because Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne looks so fucking tired. Yeah. Like, he looks exhausted. Like, this dude doesn't sleep. sucks. He's on the absolute grind. He's sitting there, falling off for like 4
Mm-hmm.
hours of sleep, no food, sitting there, and he just looks like he's just like, oh, this shit sucks.
Dude,
Gotham's on fire. Like literally.
But just from what we saw, like him in the Batman suit, so fucking good. Like
What I didn't like about the Batman suit is his neck seemed a little skinny to me.
Just
that's
a little
just
bit.
Me. Yeah, that's just me. It just seemed a little bit off. But I mean, other than that, I like the silver on like the silver kind of chrome.
Mm-hmm.
On
I like
actual
the
Batman
bat symbol.
The bat symbol looks good.
Dude,
I'm not in love with it, but
no.
It looks good.
Dude, I think my favorite part of the trailer was when like there's that whole gang of guys and he just starts fucking wailing on one of them.
Dude, he wailed on him. I was like, oh my god, this is dark. I mean, because I'm used to Batman in like Justice League, not the anime, just like
like
womp. Like, okay, cool, we're not like breaking bones, breaking noses.
That sold it for me though. I'm like, this is a different Batman.
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but that sold it for me. I'm like, okay, this is the different Batman. I want to see this. I don't know, with DC, I like seeing something that's just different.
I think that's what DC has to thrive on. I think they have to sit here and do the characters that aren't these huge mainstream characters. They have to make them well. They have to do what the fans are liking. Like, I mean, it's so exciting now because I wouldn't say it's a level playing field, but because Marvel just finished, they're starting at ground zero again. I feel like DC is slightly above ground zero, where they have almost like the basement filled to where Marvel has made their mansion and now they're making like their vacation home on the beach kind of a thing. Like kind of give them more. At
the moment, in all honesty, I'm more excited for the DC films right now, which I didn't think I'd ever say. Like Black Adam.
I'm stunned you actually said that.
Flash, the Batman, Suicide Squad. It's just so different. And I love the Marvel films because they're so similar and they all connect. I love that. But I never liked DC for doing that because it just felt the same. But since they're doing all these different, and it started with Shazam. Shazam was just different from the other films. The Joker was different from other films. And I've loved those two movies.
Because they're not
the
like
same.
They're in the same train going around in the same circle.
Exactly. So seeing, I think with Justice League Snyder Cut, feels so different from Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel. I love it. Like, it's just, I like what I'm seeing, and I'm really excited. Like, especially like Black Adam, Suicide Squad, dude.
Yeah, those look like absolute bangers.
I'm ready.
Like, those may be, hey, by the way, I'm coming up to your house, buy tickets, I'll be there.
Yep, dude, we are definitely seeing these.
Yeah, yeah, there's a couple of them that as long as the world is
around.
Yeah, the world, the Earth is round. We can go outside. Yep. Like, we're not gonna not on fire. It doesn't look like Chernobyl outside. I think we'll be alright. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what else. The Batman really was the ending,
dude, and it was a good ending. Like,
yeah,
when I was like, oh shit, it's the final thing, and it was like a 30-minute panel.
Yeah, it was so long. That's the one thing I noticed. I sat there, I was like, dang, this thing's hella long.
He went in detail though. Like, he was given very bland questions, but he explained everything, and it was just so intriguing listening to him. I'm just like, damn, he really understands what he wants his film to be. Like, you can tell he's a good filmmaker. I just loved listening to that. I'm just like, I know some people are like, this is fucking boring. I'm like, no, I really like this. Like, you hear his thinking process of like how he wanted this film to be, what he wanted to do with it. He was talking about like the Christian Bale films, and how Robert Pattinson went to Christian Bale and talked to him about Batman and like what he should do. This is not that. I love that shit. I'm a huge fan of like behind the scenes stuff, so just hearing discussions about stuff like that, it's just so
like
good.
What persona you want, like what's the acting, stuff like that. I like the idea that this isn't just, it doesn't feel like just another Batman movie. I feel like this, like, yes, we know it's separate from everything else that quote unquote DC is making to kind of lead up to another Justice League or
whatever they're
making eventually in the future. If they are deciding to make something in the future, they may just kind of do, I know, I feel like the Snyder Cut is gonna tell DC if they want to do another team up.
I think it's the big thing. I think Snyder Cut's gonna show the future for like Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like how fans react to the Snyder Cut being released and how much they either like it or enjoy it, or obviously there's always critics out there. They may not like it, they may not enjoy it, they may say it's better than the other one, X, Y, and Z. All the different opinions. But I think the numbers itself and how much it's perceived in the community of all the superhero films will tell DC, because DC is really interesting on how they team up. Because Justice League is kind of their quote-unquote only thing that they could do, but they could do 2 superheroes teaming up against an ex-villain, or 3 superheroes doing this, or you know what I mean? They could do kind of cameos and have all this stuff with it.
Yeah.
But they could also turn it around and do one big team up and throw all these villains and just blow the roof off all of DC what they did. So they could do so many things that I'm excited for the future of what they're deciding. But at the same time, I almost want to just skip to the future and just figure out what they're doing already.
Yeah, right. I think the big thing is with the multiverse. It's what they're going to set up with that, because they could do the Infinite Earths thing in the films. Like, they can do all these crossovers in the movie universe. And that's going to be insane. Like, just seeing, like, all these different characters from different universes where things just have such a different feel. And that's what I really liked about Infinity War and Endgame, is you get these characters that are all from, like, different types of movies together, but they all mesh so well. So I want to see if DC could do that. So that's why I'm excited for.
I think, I don't know, I feel like the Snyder Cut is so important.
It's really important. It's the biggest thing. It's the thing we're getting first, besides Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman and then Snyder Cut. I feel it's so important. I don't think it's going to bomb.
No, I don't think so.
But it's so important. Like, I don't think... Like, the Flash movie is obviously important because we know it's going to be a Flashpoint movie.
But that's so far off. I feel like that's like 3 years away.
Yeah, even Zack Snyder said that Flash is going to start learning his abilities a little bit harder and kind of like learn what it is need to mean Flash and everything, stuff like that. So it's just, there's so much pressure on the Snyder Cut and then on Flash, and then by the time Flash comes out, will be after Black Adam, will be after this, after that. Like, it's just, there's so many back-to-back things that are so important to setting up X amount of years in the future, that when DC first did this with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, it just was just on shaky ground, and they just built it and it was just wobbling.
Yeah, there was no structure. Yeah, there was nothing. It was just like, hey, really one film, 2 film, universe.
Yeah. I really do think that they just knocked it all down and just they're laying down the groundwork, cement's down. They're putting up the stakes. They're setting everything up. I feel like they took a step back, whoever decided all this, and just went, okay, here's what we're doing. We're clean slating.
Yeah, I mean, it was the leadership change, right? Like, they changed leadership at DC, so... Yeah. Is it Walter Hamada now? Is that the guy running it? I think that's it, right?
I don't remember. I know DC gutted a whole bunch of people, so I feel kind of bad on that aspect. Yeah, I know 5G is kind of like their next...
He joined 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know.
So...
I think he's gonna... He was actually on a couple panels today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he understands it. He knows how it's gonna work.
Yeah,
he's
real.
The Kevin Feige of this thing.
God, Kevin Feige. God, love that guy.
So good.
Greg Berlanti, love that guy too.
When you have people who know what they're talking about, they can get the shit done.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, I think I don't know, I feel it's really hard to say because I don't know, but I feel like what Marvel did with Joss Whedon kind of just let him do his thing. And I don't want to say they lucked out on it, but I feel like DC did the same thing and it just didn't hit the same.
It didn't, no.
So I think they had to step in and kind of do... But then you get stuff like Matt Reeves' Batman. I feel like they went, okay, here you go, Ben Affleck and Matt Reeves. Like,
Do
What's
it.
the money? Here you go. Like,
now,
you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's so hard to see where they stepped in, where they didn't.
Now, do you think with Justice League Snyder Cut, do you think if it does so well that they will go into Flash and just use Snyder Cut as their base point instead of going with the Justice League that released in theaters?
Yeah, 100%. I believe that.
Because I know
believe that if Snyder Cut hits a home run, grand slam, out of the park, splash hit, into the sand pit, whatever your baseball team you're listening to, whatever your announcer says, adios pelota, like whatever that is. I do think that they will take Ezra Miller's Flash from Snyder Cut over Justice League.
It just sounds like it's setting up so much more.
Yeah, I feel like it's an easier place to write because in Justice League, Ezra Miller's Flash didn't get a lot of spotlight. They kind of got, like, if you're thinking spotlight, you got on Wonder Woman and Batman and Aquaman, and Cyborg and Flash got like little tiny like pocket pen lights on them. Compared to where I think this movie is going to be, everyone gets a flashlight on them. There's no one with the giant searchlight on them.
Yeah,
everyone
no.
gets a flashlight.
Everyone gets equal time, which is going to be cool.
Is important, especially with Justice League, and we know that they're coming. Just think, this is supposed to be after Batman vs Superman. Wonder Woman hasn't had her own solo movie yet. Ben Affleck obviously hasn't a solo movie yet. Flash and Cyborg are now new characters. They're brand new. No one knows who they are. Their arcs haven't even been written yet, and Amy Adams is dealing with Superman's death. Like, just to think back to, it feels like forever ago where that was a thing, to now have to like almost watch everyone again is exciting because it's the vision that he had. It's just exciting to like know that that's coming, and it's supposed to be his way. It's just exciting. Like, I'm the first one to tell you, Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman were
I really want to watch the Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. The cut that they did.
The long version.
Yeah.
That I hear is better.
I want to watch that really bad.
I haven't seen the long version. I've seen the theatrical version.
I saw the theatrical version, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't really love it, and that was like the first one I saw, because I don't think I really cared to watch Man of Steel, even though it's very divisive. I've heard some people love it, and some people, like you, just don't care for it. Now, I really want to watch this like extended cut of Batman vs Superman. I really do, because maybe it's just so much better. Maybe it just fills in the gaps.
So much more character development in the or I think it's half hour, 45 minutes they said.
I think so, yeah.
Stuff, which I feel bad because Batman vs Superman, I felt like Dawn of Justice was like 3/4 of the movie was just story. And then the last half hour was like the good part, quote unquote. I feel so. It's just weird to think I have an extra half hour where it's supposed to make everything better. But I remember watching it and being like, "Oh my god!" It was like trying to row a boat on sand. It was like slow and it was like hard and it was like just moving. It was
just not moving at all.
It was just not moving. It was the worst. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever, but it was just like, But at the time. What, Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice? What year was that? What Marvel movie was counteracting that?
God, Civil War.
Oh God. Honestly, there's no way in hell they were ever gonna beat Civil War. Doesn't matter what.
And they came out before, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, it was. There's no way.
No.
Civil War is still the best, in my opinion, MCU movie.
It's so good.
And it's incredibly impressive because Civil War in the comics was so funky. It was so funky.
Yeah, it's such a weird storyline.
A weird storyline. And then when they announced that, I was like, oh, this is going to be so weird. And then you start watching, you're like, nope, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, no, it's so good. Every character gets their spotlight. And they introduced Spider-Man.
And we get Spider-Man. Dude, the best thing about Spider-Man's first movie
and Black Panther.
And Black Panther. The best thing we get of the Spider-Man in the first movie is the random camera setup that he has while he's fighting. He's like, hold here, I gotta go yoink Cap's sword. Or Cap's shield, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many things.
No,
I'm just so happy. Like, I can't believe it started at 10 and ended at what, 5, 6?
Yeah, it went on forever.
Yeah,
but
and then there's encores all day today. Like right now, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the time. We could totally just hop in and just watch. It's
watch
until
anything.
9:30 tomorrow. Like,
Yep, it's literally 24 hours, like they said.
yeah,
I mean, it's just
encore after
repeats of a
encore.
lot of stuff, but
I was worried that it was gonna be like starting at like 6 in the morning and going to like 6 in the morning the next day.
I was
and
too. When I woke up this morning, I'm like, ah, fuck, did I miss something? But then I realized, oh no, it's starting at 10. Like, I had time.
Yeah, and it was 10 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly important. Because if it was 10 o'clock Eastern time, that's 7 Pacific. Hawaii is what? 2 hours behind us. It'd be 5 in the morning, and then Japan and China would be. God,
no. I don't even want to think about that.
It'd be Sunday at what? 2 in the afternoon? 2 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far they are. But it'd just be a fiesta. One thing I did like and also didn't like was they had different, like, I won't say announcers, but the people who were talking in between the...
Yeah.
They
like,
had different
from
accents.
all different
some of them
countries.
were really, really thick, and some of them were like,
were.
I can understand what they're saying. I kept constantly going back to the screen and hoping for subtitles. Because I'm so used to watching stuff either with subtitles or without subtitles.
I gotta say, it was weird that it wasn't on YouTube.
Yeah, I did notice that. I thought they would do like YouTube or Twitch or whatever. I thought they kind of hit everything.
But no,
I was
it was
worried
just...
when they first announced it that the whole system would just crash. Like Disney Plus day one, just awful crash, lagging. I was worried about that.
Now I saw they actually had merch.
Yeah, they did have merch.
Which I didn't think they were gonna do that. But I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like it was just like random comic book covers with DC Fandome, but I'm like, that's still cool. It's something to remember, like, this moment.
The best merch by far is getting the Zack Snyder Justice League logo that he drew and having the associate producer on the back where you can write your own fucking name. That's by far the sickest piece of merch ever.
Did they make that?
Yeah, they did. I'll after this I'll send you the link. It's actually, if you go and watch his whole panel, I don't know if you can do it. Let's see one more time. Let's see. If you want to wake up tomorrow, let's see, what time is it? If you want to wake up at tomorrow at this beautiful time of 6:30 in the morning, you can click that. You can watch the link flash on screen when he's talking. But if not, I bet if you look up Zack Snyder Justice League associate producer or whatever he said shirt, I bet you can look it up. But it's by far the coolest piece of merch. I won't buy it because I wasn't a big advocate for the Snyder Cut. I wanted it, but I wasn't like I signed the petition obviously because I thought it was gonna be better.
Yeah,
but
same.
Stuff like that. It was just the merch itself was cool, I guess. If I was there, if it was like an actual event, I think if I was there physically, I would have bought it.
I think the only cool shirt I've seen that I would get is it says DC Fandome and it has like Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Green Lantern logos like right under it. I'm like, that's cool. It's just nice and clean. Yeah.
One thing I keep saying DC Fandom, but it's actually Fandome.
Yeah.
And I noticed specifically everyone was like, "Welcome to DC Fandome," like to make sure that the dome was an important part. Because obviously in between they showed like the dome and stuff like that. Yeah. But I like the idea that it's DC Fandome. They made
like it's an event center. Like something's happening.
Yeah, I thought that was incredibly cool. If you had to rank your number one like thing that was your favorite, your 2 and your 3. I know it's hard, there's so many.
Of like what was announced today?
Yeah.
My top 3 things, Suicide Squad.
The movie.
The Batman, and Gotham Knights.
Alright.
That's my 3. 2 movies in the game. What about you?
Titans is my number 1 because, again, the way the dude said, "Oh, by the way, you're getting Red Hood and Barbara Gordon," by far the most chillax. Like he's known about it for who knows how long, and he's just chillaxed in doing it. Titans by far was my number 1. It's hard because I didn't watch until like halfway through. I enjoyed the Snyder Cut trailer, but the panel I was kind of like whatever about.
Why did I forget about Snyder Cut? Why is that not in my top 3? Never mind. Keep going.
I don't know. Yeah, Titans for sure. I'd probably do Titans, Snyder Cut. Actually, I'll do Titans, Black Adam, Snyder Cut. I feel bad we keep putting Snyder Cut down and down more, but like again,
dude, they announced too much good stuff today. I'm sorry.
That's why I said it's hard to put 3. If I had to put them all in order, it'd be just bad for like. I feel bad for whoever's in last.
Same.
I think that's it for the video.
But no, that's it. Like, thanks for joining us in this discussion. If you want to hear more of these discussions, hit that like button. If you want to hear a podcast where we talk about nothing but geeky shit, go check out the Yes Perfect podcast. The link is down below.
Teespring.com. I can't remember what the link is. It's been forever. We haven't been talking about.
It's been so
Teespring.com//teammate-bit. God.
Also link in the description. But yeah, guys.
Like, subscribe,
and
comment.
We'll see you guys later.